These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
From the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water.
These are 6-foot drones that are somehow evading our detection. They are not being detected.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing.
In a revelation that has captured national attention, newly released Air Force records confirm that Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio experienced multiple unauthorized aerial incursions involving unmanned systems in mid-December of the year 2024. The base, one of the most historically significant in the United States Air Force network, initiated emergency protocols after a series of unidentified drone sightings forced a temporary shutdown of military airspace. The incident, now public for the first time due to a Freedom of Information Act release submitted to the Black Vault, includes a detailed account of the events through incident reports, sworn officer statements, internal law enforcement logs, and surveillance footage captured by security teams. The initial incident began on the night of the 13th of December, when a patrol near the base's hot cargo pads spotted a drone hovering low to the ground. Described as black in color, with 4 propellers and flashing red and green lights, the device was first observed at approximately 8 minutes past 10 in the evening. The drone then reportedly moved toward the west ramp of the base. Moments later, the object was seen flying above Fire Station Number 2, maintaining a height of approximately 20 feet before disappearing from view. As the first sighting triggered an alert, additional patrols were deployed across both Area A and Area B of the base. Within minutes, a separate unit reported a group of 4 drones arranged in a diamond-shaped formation. These drones, which also featured blinking red and green lights, were observed gaining altitude rapidly and flying away after being illuminated by the vehicle's spotlight. A third team confirmed sightings of 3 additional unmanned aerial systems in a similar formation, leading Base Command to take immediate action. At 10:30 in the evening, Wright-Patterson's Air Traffic Control Tower issued a full shutdown of military airspace. Security teams began coordinated sweeps around critical sectors of the base and along its perimeter. Despite an intensive effort lasting over 30 minutes, the security response failed to identify the source of the drones or recover any debris that could offer insight into their origin. By 10 minutes to 11, visual contact was lost and the incident was temporarily resolved. However, this would not be the final encounter. Just 3 days later, on the 16th of December, a second wave of activity was reported. At 38 minutes past 9 in the evening, a civilian walking his dog near the intersection of Airway Road and Harshman Avenue contacted authorities to report multiple drones flying above the region near Area B of Wright-Patterson. According to the caller, the aerial objects were moving slowly in different directions and did not resemble any typical aircraft. Responding base patrols quickly confirmed sightings. Near the National Museum of the United States Air Force, an officer observed several lights grouped together high in the sky, moving too quickly and at too high an altitude to allow for detailed identification. Another officer saw 2 blinking objects, red and white in color, moving steadily across the airspace with no apparent source or destination. By this point, both Air Traffic Control and the Federal Aviation Administration had been notified. Officials confirmed that there were no authorized aircraft scheduled or cleared to operate in the Wright-Patterson airspace at the time, raising concerns about the legitimacy of the unidentified craft. As the evening progressed, the intensity of the sightings only escalated. At 56 minutes past 10, patrols reported 3 separate unidentified lights hovering directly above Gate 26A. Another object was recorded moving across the flight line near Area A. 16 minutes later, at 12 minutes past 11, 2 additional aerial objects were seen above the gymnasium located in Area B. These were described as slow-moving, blinking white lights traveling in unison. Perhaps the most striking report of the night occurred at 43 minutes past 11. An officer observed an object descending rapidly toward the flight line in Area A. It reportedly came within 500 feet of the ground before ascending sharply and disappearing from view. A second unit in the same region confirmed the observation, adding credibility to the account. At 10 minutes past midnight, more drones were seen flying in formation from Gate 26A in the direction of Bass Lake. By midnight, all visual contact had ceased, and the official response was concluded by 1 o'clock in the morning. Among the materials released under the Freedom of Information Act was a sworn statement by a responding officer. In his report, he described seeing 3 to 5 white lights grouped together, drifting across the night sky. The officer stated that visual contact lasted about 3 minutes before the objects vanished. The statement also emphasized that patrols remained vigilant and in position until the termination of the sweeps at approximately 1 o'clock in the morning. The disclosure also included video footage collected from mobile security units and fixed surveillance cameras across the base. Though not high in resolution, the clips show blinking orbs consistent with the descriptions provided by the patrols. These recordings offer further support for the series of events outlined in the official documentation, validating what was otherwise a highly unusual and concerning occurrence. The events at Wright-Patterson unfolded during a larger trend of unusual drone activity reported across the northeastern United States during the final weeks of 2024. At the same time, incidents in Boston and surrounding areas led to federal investigations and arrests, prompting growing concerns from both state and national officials. Despite the broader context, the Wright-Patterson case stands out due to the scale and duration of the incursion, as well as the location's significance within the military infrastructure. Although no official attribution has been made, internal documents confirm that the Air Force treated the incidents with the highest level of seriousness. Flight operations were halted, multiple agencies were notified, and advanced detection tools such as thermal imaging and aerial surveillance were deployed. The origin, purpose, and control of the drones remain entirely unknown. The Wright-Patterson Air Force Base incidents raise significant questions, not just about national security, but also about the limitations of current technology in preventing unauthorized aerial activity. The airspace surrounding such an important installation is among the most heavily protected in the country. The fact that unidentified aerial systems were able to enter and navigate this space undetected and unchallenged speaks to an issue that may require urgent attention at the highest levels. These newly public records, videos, and statements represent an unprecedented look into how a high-security military installation responded to multiple unknown aerial incursions. While no conclusion has yet been reached regarding the intent or origin of the drones, the documents confirm what eyewitnesses saw and what security forces attempted to stop. The mystery remains, but now the world knows just how real the events were, and just how unprepared even the most secure places can be when the unknown takes flight. Michael Melum, the mayor of Belleville, New Jersey, has made headlines after publicly expressing his doubts about the White House's recent statement regarding the UFO drones spotted over the United States. The official explanation given by government officials was that these unidentified aerial objects were all authorized flights conducted by the Federal Aviation Administration. However, Melum insists that this claim does not add up. He revealed that he personally witnessed one of these mysterious drones hovering over his home just days ago, and his first-hand experience has led him to question the credibility of the government's response. His skepticism echoes the concerns of many who have been following the UFO drone situation closely. If the Federal Aviation Administration truly had knowledge of these drones and had authorized their presence in U.S. airspace, why did it take them so long to inform the public? The fact that it was only after widespread reports and growing concern that the government suddenly released a vague, unverified explanation has left many wondering if this is yet another cover-up attempt. Mayor Melum's refusal to accept the official narrative is adding fuel to the speculation that these drones are not what the government claims them to be. Melum has emphasized that what he saw above his house was unlike any conventional drone he had ever encountered before. He described the object as being eerily silent, lacking visible propellers or any standard form of propulsion. This aligns with other eyewitness reports that describe smooth, controlled movements, erratic changes in direction, and even the ability to hover in place without making a sound. Such capabilities do not match commercial drones or even high-end military UAVs, raising even more questions about their true nature and origin. The most perplexing aspect of this situation is the delayed response from the government. If the Federal Aviation Administration was aware of these drones all along, why did they not issue an immediate statement reassuring the public? Instead, citizens, pilots, and even military personnel were left in the dark as these mysterious objects appeared over cities, military bases, and even near Air Force One. This lack of transparency is deeply concerning to many, as it suggests that either the Federal Aviation Administration was not actually in control of these drones, or that there was a deliberate effort to keep their presence hidden. Adding to the controversy, many experts have pointed out that the behavior of these UFO drones does not match that of authorized Federal Aviation Administration test flights. Normally, when the Federal Aviation Administration conducts aerial tests, there are clear flight paths, designated no-fly zones, and official documentation that can be easily accessed. In this case, none of that exists. Instead, what has been reported are erratic flight patterns, unpredictable movement, and multiple instances of these objects appearing in restricted airspace with no prior warning. Mayor Melum's testimony directly challenges the official narrative, and his first-hand account has emboldened others who believe that the government is not being truthful about the nature of these drones. The theory that these objects might not be human-made is gaining traction, particularly given the fact that high-ranking military officials have openly admitted that many of these sightings remain unexplained. The US government has repeatedly acknowledged that unidentified aerial phenomena have been detected that demonstrate technology far beyond our known capabilities. The drones seen over New Jersey and other locations bear striking similarities to the UFO orbs described by military pilots, particularly in their lack of visible propulsion, their ability to evade radar detection, and their highly advanced maneuverability. This is where skepticism grows even stronger. If these drones were just standard Federal Aviation Administration-approved aircraft, why are they behaving in ways that even the world's most advanced fighter jets struggle to keep up with? Mayor Melum's experience suggests that these objects are far more than routine government test drones. Instead, they appear to be something unknown, something that defies current technological explanations. His refusal to accept the official explanation has resonated with many in the UFO research community, as well as with everyday citizens who have witnessed similar unexplained objects in recent months. Many have praised Melum for standing his ground and challenging the narrative that the government wants the public to believe. His comments also highlight a growing frustration with how information is being handled, as people demand more transparency, more evidence, and fewer vague statements that only raise more questions. The FAA's sudden claim of responsibility appears to be an attempt to put the issue to rest, but instead, it has only amplified suspicion. If this were truly a case of government-sanctioned drone activity, then why are so many high-ranking officials, including military insiders, still hesitant to explain what these objects actually are? Why is there no concrete data, flight records, or detailed reports proving their origin? These are the questions that Mayor Melum and others are demanding answers to. As the mystery surrounding these UFO drones deepens, many believe that we are witnessing a pivotal moment in UFO disclosure. More public officials are beginning to speak out, and the government is being forced to address these sightings in ways they never have before. The fact that an elected mayor is now questioning the credibility of the federal government's response shows that this phenomenon is not going away. The truth remains elusive, but what is clear is that Mayor Michael Melum is not backing down. His first-hand experience, combined with the growing number of witnesses who have seen these mysterious drones, is forcing the government to reconsider its approach to handling UFO-related events. If there is more to this story than what the public is being told, it is only a matter of time before the full truth is revealed. The UFO drones seen hovering over the United States continue to be a mystery, despite government efforts to explain them away. Many eyewitnesses and military officials have reported that these objects do not resemble conventional aircraft, nor do they behave in ways that match any known drone or aircraft technology. What makes these sightings particularly baffling is that these drones appear to have no visible means of propulsion, yet they move in ways that defy the laws of aerodynamics. As the phenomenon continues to unfold, Many are left wondering what exactly these objects are and who or what is controlling them. For years, the existence of highly advanced unidentified aerial objects has been debated among experts and enthusiasts. However, recent sightings of these strange drones over military installations, nuclear facilities, and restricted airspace have reignited the discussion, pushing the topic further into the mainstream. Videos and eyewitness accounts describe silent, hovering spheres or metallic, egg-shaped objects that appear to move without wings, rotors, or jet propulsion systems. They accelerate instantly, change direction abruptly, and seem to operate outside the limits of known physics. These characteristics have led many to believe that whatever these drones are, they are not ordinary government surveillance equipment. One of the most perplexing aspects of these UFO drones is their ability to evade radar detection. Many of these sightings have been reported by military personnel, pilots, and government officials, yet traditional radar systems often fail to track them properly. If these were simply classified military drones, they would likely still produce some kind of detectable signature, such as infrared emissions or radio signals. Instead, these objects seem to disappear from radar screens at will, leading to speculation that they possess some form of advanced stealth technology that goes beyond anything publicly known. Adding to the mystery, there have been multiple cases where these UFO drones directly interacted with military aircraft. In some instances, fighter jets have been scrambled to intercept these objects, only for the pilots to report that the drones outmaneuvered them effortlessly. Pilots have described how these objects can come to a complete stop mid-air, rotate in place, then shoot off at impossible speeds without any visible thrust. This is far beyond the capabilities of even the most advanced hypersonic aircraft or experimental propulsion systems currently being developed by military programs. Government officials have attempted to explain away these sightings, claiming that the drones were part of FAA-authorized tests or classified operations. However, these explanations have failed to satisfy those who have witnessed the objects firsthand. If these drones were truly government-sanctioned, why were military personnel and pilots not informed ahead of time? Why were fighter jets scrambled to intercept them as if they were unknown threats? The lack of clear documentation or transparency surrounding these objects has only fueled more suspicion that the truth is being hidden from the public. The lack of visible propulsion or exhaust also suggests that these objects could be utilizing an unknown or highly advanced energy source. Traditional aircraft rely on combustion engines, jet propulsion, or rotor blades to generate lift and thrust, but these UFO drones do not exhibit any of these characteristics. Some researchers have theorized that they could be operating on anti-gravity technology, a concept long considered theoretical, but one that has been explored in classified military projects. If such technology does exist, it would represent a paradigm shift in aerospace engineering, and it would explain why these objects can hover effortlessly and accelerate without inertia. Many of these sightings have occurred near sensitive military sites, particularly those associated with nuclear technology. There have been multiple reports of these UFO drones hovering over nuclear missile silos, power plants, and weapons storage facilities, prompting serious security concerns. In some cases, personnel have even reported electronic disruptions and unexplained power failures during these encounters. If these drones are simply foreign surveillance devices, they represent a major national security risk, yet there has been no confirmation that they belong to any known adversary. This raises a disturbing possibility that these objects may not be of human origin at all. Public skepticism toward official explanations has grown significantly, particularly as high-ranking officials have admitted that many of these incidents remain unexplained. Even former intelligence officers and military whistleblowers have come forward, stating that the government has been studying these objects in secret for years and has no real explanation for their origins or capabilities. If this is the case, it suggests that the phenomenon is far more complex than simple drone activity, and that there could be a concerted effort to withhold critical information from the public. Despite the government's attempts to downplay these incidents, many believe that we are approaching a turning point in UFO disclosure. With more eyewitness accounts, video evidence, and whistleblower testimonies emerging, it is becoming increasingly difficult for authorities to dismiss these sightings as mundane events. The fact that so many of these UFO drones share similar characteristics, regardless of where they are seen, suggests that this is a global phenomenon, not just an isolated issue confined to US airspace. If these objects truly belong to a foreign nation, then it means that one country has developed technology far superior to anything known to the rest of the world, which in itself would be an unprecedented breakthrough in aerospace technology. However, if they do not originate from any known earthly power, then the implications are even more profound. In that case, we may be dealing with a presence that exists beyond our current understanding of science and technology. As more experts, researchers, and government insiders come forward, the mystery surrounding these UFO drones only deepens. Their capabilities, their purpose, and their origin remain unknown, but one thing is certain: they do not match any conventional aircraft or drone known to exist. The continued sightings and the government's vague responses have led many to believe that we are being kept in the dark about something far greater than we can imagine. Until full transparency is provided, the question of what these UFO drones truly are will remain one of the greatest mysteries of our time. In a city known for politics, history, and tightly controlled airspace, an unexpected and perplexing event has captured the attention of residents and UFO enthusiasts alike. On the evening of the 6th of March, glowing orbs were reported hovering above Washington, D.C., leaving many stunned, confused, and full of questions. Witnesses described the mysterious lights as 3 bright orbs arranged in a triangular formation, floating silently against the dark sky before disappearing without a trace. The sightings began just after dusk, as residents looked skyward to see what appeared to be hovering lights that were too symmetrical and still to be explained away as commercial aircraft. Some witnesses claimed the lights changed position slightly, while others insisted they remained fixed for several minutes before vanishing entirely. The reports came in from multiple neighborhoods across the capital, and within hours, social media platforms were flooded with first-hand accounts. The eyewitnesses all seemed to agree on several key details. The orbs were exceptionally bright, white to bluish in color, and appeared to be operating in complete silence. Many compared the scene to something from a science fiction film. Despite the flood of reports, very few people were able to capture video or photographs of the event. Some were driving and could not safely film, while others said the lights disappeared too quickly or that their phone cameras failed to focus in time. The absence of clear footage did not deter the buzz, however. The sheer number of people who claimed to witness the sighting created a wave of interest and concern that quickly spread beyond Washington, D.C. The renewed attention surrounding these orbs has led many to speculate about the return of the so-called UFO drones, unidentified aerial objects that had been reported in past years under similar circumstances. These sightings often involved bright lights or orbs, flying in strange formations and defying conventional flight behaviors. But the reappearance of such phenomena in a place like Washington, D.C. raises the stakes considerably. The capital city has some of the strictest airspace restrictions in the entire United States. Designated as a national defense airspace, Washington, D.C. is heavily monitored by both civilian and military radar systems. Unauthorized aircraft, including recreational drones, are strictly prohibited from flying in most parts of the city. The fact that multiple unknown objects were able to remain in the air without immediate interception or identification has added another layer of mystery to the event. In response to the incident, some observers have pointed to the possibility of experimental military technology. The notion that these glowing orbs could be part of a classified test or surveillance operation has not been ruled out, especially given the capital's proximity to various defense agencies. However, others are not so convinced. If the objects were military in origin, why display them in such a public and unpredictable manner, especially over such a highly monitored zone? The more speculative theories suggest an otherworldly origin. With decades of sightings and testimonies, believers in extraterrestrial activity argue that the objects may not be of this Earth. For them, the capital sightings are only the latest in a long line of events pointing toward advanced craft that operate beyond the capabilities of current human technology. These theories are often fueled by past government reports and public statements by former officials, suggesting that some aerial phenomena remain unexplained despite extensive investigation. This recent sighting has drawn comparisons to one of the most famous UFO events in US history, the Washington, D.C. flap of 1952. During that summer, several unexplained objects were observed on radar and visually by pilots and control tower personnel. At the time, the event caused a national stir and was even acknowledged by the Air Force, although no conclusive explanation was ever provided. The similarities between that historical event and the modern-day sighting are striking. Both involve unknown aerial phenomena over restricted airspace, and both have left authorities with few answers. In the days following the sighting on the 6th of March, no official statement was issued by any government agency, leaving the public to draw its own conclusions. This silence has only intensified speculation. Some believe that information is being deliberately withheld to avoid public concern, while others suggest that authorities simply do not have a clear understanding of what was observed. In either case, the lack of transparency has reignited debates about disclosure and the need for open discussion about unidentified aerial phenomena. For those who witnessed the orbs firsthand, the experience has left a lasting impression. Many reported feeling a sense of awe, confusion, and even fear. The idea that something so strange could appear so close to the heart of American governance challenges many people's assumptions about security, surveillance, and the unknown. Whether the lights were of earthly or otherworldly origin, the impact they left on those who saw them is undeniable. As the buzz around the incident continues to grow, researchers, journalists, and curious citizens are combing through every available detail in hopes of uncovering the truth. Meanwhile, amateur skywatchers are keeping their eyes on the skies, hoping to catch a second glimpse or perhaps even capture clear evidence. While the mystery remains unsolved, what is certain is that the skies over Washington, D.C. have once again become a focal point for questions that humanity has been asking for generations.